if the Indiana Fever's strength and conditioning and medical staff is getting paid anything more than about $1.25 an hour, it's too damn much. We've got another player that is now out for the season after we were told back for the game, now out, but not a setback. Well, I would, Stephanie White, I beg to differ, because it seems to me like out for the season is probably a pretty damn big setback. Fever fans, fire your incompetent training and medical staff. This brand of apple is rotten to the core.
That's not just an insult. That's the truth they don't want you to know. What you're hearing is the sound of an entire fan base waking up to a horrifying reality. The Indiana Fever's medical and training staff aren't just incompetent. They are running a regime of medical tyranny, and it's been destroying the careers of their own players right in front of our eyes. But this story isn't about the downfall of a team. It's about a rebellion. We have uncovered Caitlin Clark's secret plan to dismantle this entire corrupt system from the inside out, a silent war she is waging to save her career and expose the truth. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you the evidence, reveal the plan, and expose the real reason why the Fever's biggest star had to become their biggest threat. This is the story of how one player is taking back control. To understand the rebellion, you have to understand the victims of the tyranny. It all starts with Bibby. Just a few weeks ago, Bibby was officially listed as day-to-day. A minor issue they wanted us to believe, a temporary inconvenience. But those of us who watch closely, who see the patterns, we knew something was wrong. Day-to-day is code in a system built on lies. It's the first step in the gaslighting process, designed to lower expectations and obscure the truth. And the truth about Bibby was horrifying. The organization was forcing her to travel, putting her on planes when she should have been recovering, cross-country flights with a knee injury. Can you imagine? Every single ascent and descent, the pressure building in an already damaged joint. Her knee, according to sources, swelled up so much from this forced travel that it ended her season. This wasn't a medical decision. It was a power play. It was the organization prioritizing the appearance of a full bench over the actual health of a human being. They recklessly endangered her career for optics. And when the inevitable happened, when day-to-day became done for the year, they looked the media in the eye and lied. They deployed their -- 1 tool of deception, Coach Stephanie White.
You have to be a doctor to know when something's wrong. Like, if you followed sports long enough, you know when something is seriously wrong. There's something wrong, and she shouldn't have kept flying. Like, it's one thing, but she kept flying. Like, she should have been sent back to Indiana and just told not to travel. And at the same time, like, there's no reason for injured players to be traveling everywhere.
Did you hear that? No setback, just a little bit of swelling because of traveling. She defined a setback while denying a setback existed. This is the language of a cover-up. It's textbook institutional gaslighting, designed to make you question your own reality. They want you to believe that a catastrophic season-ending injury progression is somehow not a setback. But just 4 days after these comments, 4 days after they told us swelling from travel was no big deal, Bibby was ruled out for the rest of the year. They knew. They had to have known. This wasn't a surprise. It was the final act of a deception they'd been spinning for weeks. And Bibby was not the only casualty. This wasn't an isolated incident. This is a pattern. This is a verifiable medical crisis that has seen 5 players lost to season-ending injuries in the span of just 4 weeks. 5. Let that number sink in. This isn't bad luck. It's a systemic plague of incompetence. Sophie Cunningham, out with a season-ending knee injury. Sydney Colson, a torn ACL. Iari McDonald, a broken foot. One by one, players who put their trust in this organization were cut down. Their seasons destroyed by a medical system that is, at best, criminally negligent, and at worst, deliberately destructive. The fans see it. They feel it. They know this team is rotting from the inside out, and they are screaming for someone to cut out the infection.
Chloe Bibby was listed as day-to-day 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, she was day-to-day. And then all of a sudden, goes from day-to-day to she's back playing. She was day-to-day, she was in practice, and then suddenly she's back playing. Stephanie White was asked about this, and her words were that there was no setback, just a little bit of swelling because of traveling. And we all said it, and we were like, she's just defined a setback. She just said there's no setback and then defined a setback. And they were like, e-swelling while traveling is a setback. Unless, of course, they knew she was out for the season.
Rotten to the core. That is the verdict from the people who pour their hearts and their money into this team. They are demanding a revolution because they see what the organization is trying to hide, that this is a 5-alarm fire of malpractice. And you know who else saw it? The one person with enough power to actually do something about it. Caitlin Clark. Clark watched the Bibby situation unfold. She saw the lies, the contradictions, the blatant disregard for a player's future. She saw the growing list of injured teammates, and she knew she was next. She understood that if she submitted to the same medical staff, the same protocols that destroyed their seasons, she was sacrificing her own career. So she made a decision that has sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA. She decided to fight back. This is the beginning of her secret war. Sources inside the organization have confirmed that Caitlin Clark went directly to team officials and delivered a stunning ultimatum. I'm getting my own doctors. I'm not using our doctors. This is not a request. This is a declaration of independence. It's a complete and total rejection of the team's medical authority. This is an unprecedented move that mirrors the legendary conflict between Kawhi Leonard and the San Antonio Spurs, a conflict that ultimately blew up a dynasty. Clark has drawn a line in the sand. She is seizing control of her own body and her own destiny. As of today, she has been meeting with independent medical specialists in New York. She is getting second opinions, third opinions, any opinion that isn't tainted by the Fever's culture of deception. And here's the most critical part of her plan. She is refusing to share the results of these consultations with the Fever's trainers. She has cut them out. She has created her own medical island, a sanctuary safe from their incompetence. When coach Stephanie White was asked for an update on her star player's health, she had to admit to the world that she had no updates because Clark had completely severed communication with the team's medical staff. This is phase 1 of her plan, containment. She has stopped the bleeding. She has removed herself from the tyrannical system that has proven so dangerous to her teammates. She has taken away their power to control her body and the narrative around it. But why did it have to come to this? Why did a generational superstar have to go to war with her own franchise? Because this isn't just about bad medicine. It's about a culture that prioritizes control over care. You don't need a PhD to understand what's happening in Indiana. You just need to have followed sports long enough to know when something is deeply, fundamentally broken.
Anyone who's played any sport in their life knows that swelling is your body, basically, your body's reaction to something being wrong. And like, I'm really, really worried for Caitlin Clark's injury. Like, what the hell,
You know when something is seriously, seriously wrong. That's the truth, isn't it? We all felt it. We all saw the red flags. The decision to keep putting Chloe Bibby on planes wasn't a simple mistake. It was a symptom of a sick organization. An organization that would rather risk a player's career than admit they have a problem. An organization that has created such a toxic environment of distrust that their franchise player had no choice but to rebel. Caitlin Clark's decision wasn't born from ego. It was born from fear, a completely rational fear. She saw the pattern. The lies told about Bibby would be the same lies told about her. The medical mismanagement that ended Cunningham's season would be the same mismanagement that would befall her. This was an act of survival, because anyone with a basic understanding of the human body, anyone who has ever played a sport, knows the truth that this organization continues to deny.
It's not, they don't have to tell us everything, but there's no setback, and then 4 days later it's a season-ending injury. Like, that's kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. We go from, no, all's good, to, yeah, no, she's actually, it's over. she's actually done in 4 days. Don't let anyone trick you into believing that this is normal.
Don't let anyone trick you into believing that this is normal. That is the core of this entire scandal. The Fever organization wants you to believe that a historic injury crisis is normal. They want you to accept that going from day to season ending, in a matter of days, is just part of the game. They are actively trying to normalize medical negligence. But Caitlin Clark is refusing to be tricked. She is refusing to accept this as normal. Her rebellion isn't just about saving herself, it's about shattering the illusion that this is acceptable. She is exposing the truth by refusing to participate in the lie. Her secret plan has already been a stunning success. She has taken control. She has protected her future. But this is only the beginning. Phase 1 was about self-preservation. Phase 2 is about justice. What did Caitlin Clark's independent doctors in New York discover? What did they find that the Fever's $1.25 an hour medical staff missed, or worse, covered up? The whispers are already starting. Sources are saying the diagnosis from her private specialists is so fundamentally different from the team's initial assessment that it proves, without a doubt, a level of gross malpractice. This is the ticking time bomb at the center of the franchise. Clark holds the evidence. She holds the proof of their tyranny. The only question is not if she will use it, but when. Her silent war is about to get very, very loud. And when the full truth of what her doctors found comes out, it won't just end the careers of a few trainers. It could bring down the entire regime. We're investigating that now, and we will not stop until the full story is told.